Hello Gems, Leah from Red Emeralds Yoga. Welcome back to my channel for today's reading. Okay, so today is Tuesday, September the 3rd. I'm not sure which day this video will be edited and uploaded. With today being the new moon in Virgo, in the season of Virgo, this is the perfect time for practical magic. It's a time for manifesting things and really seeing those things come to life in the physical world. So today we're going to be doing a really fun reading. This is called the Circle of Witches. Let's go ahead and jump right in. Pile 1 will be this amethyst crystal. If the number 1 is calling your name or this crystal here, you are pile 1. Pile 2, if the number 2 is calling your name or this crystal, you will be pile 2. If the number 3 is calling your name or this crystal here, I need to turn my alerts off on my phone, you will be pile 3. So go ahead and jump down to the timestamp below and I will see you in your reading. Hello, pile 1. If you have selected this amethyst crystal here, this reading is for you. Okay, so the first card here, this is going to represent you. Here we have the 3 of Pentacles in the reverse. The keywords for this card are enterprise, success, talent, and teaching. So with this card being in the reverse, I'm feeling that there is some hesitation. I feel like you may be presented or you may be feeling called to work with somebody or like as part of a team, but you're a little bit hesitant. Maybe you feel like you're not really ready or you don't know enough for your expertise, for your opinion, for what you have to say to really be valued. I feel like you're kind of holding this back because you're feeling a bit intimidated. So now we move on to our first person of counsel, which is the Healer Witch. The Healer Witch shows you what you are working on, what needs to be healed, and what is in the process of being healed. Let her show you what you can bring your love and attention to, heal more consciously, and where you can feel more supported in your precious life. So the Healer Witch is the Tower in the reverse. This card says destruction, enlightenment, release, destruction, enlightenment, release. I feel like there is like an old wound. This would be like an old trauma, an old catastrophic thing that happened that you haven't fully healed from. And the Healer Witch is here saying, you need to go back. You need to go back to that. You need to take a look at it. I'm really drawn to the eye that is, now at the bottom of the card. Instead of being at the top and having like this overarching view, like a bird's eye view of the situation, it's at the bottom. And, you can look at it like if you're laying on the floor and you're looking up, just from that perspective shift, everything seems so much bigger. Everything seems larger than life. And I feel like, and please don't think that I'm diminishing what you've experienced in any way. But I do feel like this card is saying that it's not so large now. It's okay to go back, and it's okay to allow yourself to bring some love and attention to this unhealed wound, this hurt. I'm really drawn to the lightning, and to me that's like a trigger, and then it gets these like flames going, smoke, and it's like, what is your nervous system doing? Is your nervous system stuck in the fight or flight mode? Are you in freeze mode? Are you able to regulate? Are you able to self-regulate when these triggers come up? Moving on to the Seer Witch. She sees the future and how your destiny is being written. She often provides advice on making the best of the circumstances revealed by the card. She will offer a light on the dark road ahead and show you what could come. It's not written in stone. The future is never written in stone because of free will. So you can be prepared and be able to navigate your path safely. This is what the Seer Witch has to say to you. Here we have the Five of Pentacles in the reverse. These keywords are struggle, hardship, loss, struggle, hardship, loss. Because this card is in the reverse, I feel like there may have been like a struggle. Maybe it's related to this card over here, the Tower. But when this card comes up for me, it usually indicates a needing to, like a reconnection that's needed with your spiritual practice, whatever that may be. So I do see you making an effort in the future to reconnect with your spiritual practice. I'm really drawn to how it says this, the Seer Witch provides advice on making the best of the circumstances revealed by the card. So I feel like you're best going to be suited to navigate your circumstances if you do a deep dive, if you reconnect with your spirituality. And I feel like this would be more like on a personal level, not so much in a group setting. Yes, it very well can have a group element to it, but I feel like your real healing, like your real growth is going to happen when it happens on an individual level. Like, what are you doing on your own time? That can be yoga, tai chi, meditation, prayer, anything of that sort, any type of ritual work, whatever you're doing on your own time. This next is the Witch of Endings. This witch ushers what is over to the other side. Therefore, she will reveal what you can let go of, leave behind, or release. She is here to show you the endings, which will bring forth new beginnings. Here we have the Two of Swords. This is an ending of indecision, an ending of not making a choice. The time for refusing to look at the elephant in the room is over. I'm really drawn to her skirt and how it reminds me of scales. It reminds me of dragon scales. This card says decision, choice, decision, choice. Just says it all around the card, over and over. Decision, choice. I feel like you need to make a decision. You need to start making decisions. Stop allowing others to make decisions for you. Stop giving up your power. The time of indecision and sitting here with your heart crossed off like, oh no, I'm too afraid to make a choice. If I make a decision, I don't want to make the wrong one. And I'm really drawn to how the sword is double-edged. There's a pro and con to every choice, every decision. Every action will have an equal reaction. So sometimes that can be a little bit scary. And I'm really drawn to over here, like how, with this Three of Pentacles card, I felt like you were afraid of making the wrong choice. You were afraid of putting yourself out there. You're afraid of mingling with other people. You're afraid of working with these other people or this other person because you're feeling like, oh, I don't know if I'm good enough. I don't know if what I have to offer is going to be valued. So you're just simply not doing anything. This is the Witch of Beginnings. This witch brings through the little ones, the new ones, the tender ideas and beings. She will show you what is beginning, what is being birthed through you into the world, and how you can help ease and welcome the delivery. I love it. Here we have the Queen of Cups. Intuition, compassion, creativity. I feel like this is a compassionate queen. She cares about other people. She's empathetic. She's a really good listener. She understands people. She allows them to speak, and she knows just what to say and when not to say. I'm wondering if you're being called to work with newbies in some in some form, some shape and form. If you're meant to teach people who don't know, who are new to something, because you can understand, you're good, you can relate to them, or I don't know. This could also be working with children. I definitely get like really kind and compassionate, like kindergarten, first grade, second grade teacher vibes from this Queen of Cups. I get like not so much mom vibes out of her, but I get like a female energy that you can really trust and you can tell all of your problems to, and there's no judgment. She's very soft-spoken. She lets you say what you need to say, and there's just like a very strong trust with this person. And I feel like that's what's being born when you allow this to go and move on. This next card is the Green Witch. What can be grown at this time? What can you work on, garden, and give energy to so that it blooms and grows? What will be fruitful to you? The Green Witch will show you. Here we have the High Priestess. I feel like this is a time to tap in. When you're tapping into your spirituality, into your spiritual practice, I feel like you're going to have a deeper understanding, your intuition. Your intuition is going to be heightened. You're going to be able to see behind that veil. These keywords are secrets, dreams, wisdom, inner voice, spirit world. I'm really drawn to the snake. To me, that reminds me of Kundalini yoga. I don't know if you do, if you are interested in yoga, I definitely do suggest that. I'm also really drawn to this skull. I was watching a little short thing on Instagram by a yoga teacher who was a mentor to me, and she was just talking about like crystal skulls, and they had like this little like sharp crystals coming out of the top, the crown of the skull. And she was talking about how it's kind of like an energetic eraser. Her name is Vina. I don't know if crystal skulls mean anything to you, if you have a crystal skull, or if you would be interested in getting one, but yeah, I could definitely see that like an energetic cleansing, so that way like whatever it is that you're manifesting can bloom and grow. And if that's not the case, then I can see this as like heightening your intuition, heightening your gifts, whatever those may be. I'm really drawn to these colors back here to me. They remind me of the chakra colors. Moving on, we meet the Wild Witch. This witch reveals traps, hindrances, and burdens you need not carry. She will show you how to break chains and unlock shackles, where to be your wildish self a little more, and how to let go of expectations and cords between you and people and their conditions, so you may live more spontaneously in a more primal, instinctual way. Here we have the Three of Wands in the reverse. Oh my goodness, the Wild Witch. This person's looking out into the world. She's holding these wands, and she's clutching them to her breast. I feel like that's what she wants to bring out into the world, but in this card, I kind of feel like she's holding it back. And she's too busy looking at everybody else. This card says action, adventure, luck. And it says it over and over and over. There's all of this water swirling behind her. I feel like there's so much emotion. The wind is blowing her hair, and here we have the sun behind her. I feel like the traps, the hindrances that would hold you back would be letting your emotions get the best of you. Worrying too much about what others think about you, what others might say. Oh, what might people think? What might people say or do? If I let myself, my creativity out, if I let it out of the box, oh my gosh, what will happen? And this card is saying, you know what? Let all of that emotion go. I'm really drawn to her hair and how I felt like it was blowing in the wind. Those would be like thoughts, these different thoughts and these things that like you're thinking people are going to say, you're thinking people are going to think. You don't know. Let it go. Put yourself out there. This next card is the Love Witch. Here we have a witch who will shed insight on your lovers, friends, relatives, all those intricate, beautiful, loving relationships in all their forms. She can show you how to heal your heart from times of sorrow and where to open your heart to times of joy. Nine of Swords in the reverse. I'm wondering if you're replaying events and situations, replaying things over and over in your head. This card says anxiety, worry, and this card is in the reverse. So I'm feeling like these are things that happened a while ago. These are not even recent events. I'm really drawn to the bedspread and how there's all of these roses on the bedspread. And when this card comes up in the reverse, these roses are above her, so she's underneath them. So it reminds me of when times of old, they used to put up these rose garlands and people would have these confidential talks underneath the roses. They called it sub rosa. And anything that was said underneath it, it would never leave that space. Okay, so I'm wondering if you need to speak to somebody sub rosa. If you need to talk to somebody who you can trust. That can be a friend, that can be a family member. And if you don't have that relationship with anybody, then maybe it is somebody else. Maybe you go see a counselor or a therapist, or maybe you see somebody like me, or perhaps you see an astrologer or whoever it is that you turn to. Maybe it's your somebody from your spiritual practice. Okay, but I feel like you need to talk to somebody so that way you can get this off of your chest and you stop reliving it over and over. How can you heal? How can you move forward into the present if you're stuck in the past? Who do you need to speak to? Up next, we have the Star Witch. What is the highest perspective and destiny of your soul? The Star Witch knows, for she has a galactic outlook and can see the many incarnations you have already experienced and the many more to come. This card's guidance will show you your life events from a cosmically conscious point of view. Here we have the Nine of Cups in the reverse. And she's clutching this cat, and to me that's like her shadows. Here it says happiness, vitality, optimism, joy. And with this card being in the reverse, I don't see those feelings of happiness, of vitality, of optimism and joy. I feel like she's clutching it like it reminds me of a stuffed animal. And she wants so very badly to experience these things, but she just doesn't feel worthy. Maybe she doesn't feel like that's her karma, or maybe she feels like, I don't know, undeserving of it for some reason. Why do you hold yourself back? Why do you feel undeserving of love? Why do you feel unworthy to put yourself out there? Why do you have these tough dragon scales for protection on your legs, on your root chakra? Why are you so afraid to enterprise, afraid to succeed, to help others, to teach what you know? I feel like this card is a card that asks you, if you want to change the way things are, if you want to change your fate, if you want to change your karma, soften your karma. I feel like this card again is asking you to embrace who you are. I feel like this is a card of gratitude, offering thanks and gratitude to the people in your life, the people who were in your life, the people who have taught you valuable lessons, either on how to be or how not to be in life. Sitting and offering gratitude for all of the things that you have. All of the things that you had. This next card is the Coven Witch. She, through this card, will show you how you relate to groups of people. Unlike the Love Witch, this card is about how you interact with people like coworkers and people you may spend time with, but not have that super close connection with as yet. She may indicate how a group views you or how you view that group. The Coven Witch also reveals how you are influenced by group dynamics and how to keep your power. Here we have the Seven of Wands. This card says challenge and courage. This is a very defensive card. I do see these walls, these barricades put up. Normally I see like these wands and then like the normal Rider-Waite deck, you know, and like these people are coming at the person, but the seven is battling them off and fighting them off. It reminds me of a whack-a-mole, but in this deck, it just reminds me of a wall of defenses. Being very defensive, not trusting people. So do people not interact with you because of walls that you set up yourself? Here we have Leonard Roralot. It says, be brave enough to become who you were always meant to be. And this card ties in with this one. Here with this Three of Pentacles. Who do you want to be? Who do you feel in your heart? What do you see yourself doing? That just would make you so happy. You know what you're meant to do, but you're a little bit scared. Leonard Roralot. This card is telling you to be brave enough to become who you were always meant to be. But this reminds me of the Cowardly Lion from The Wizard of Oz. And he just needs his courage. This card says to seek balance. And it says overwhelm. And then over here we have a gentle path of inspiration. So what do you do when you're feeling overwhelmed, when you feel like you've lost balance, when you're feeling like you're over here in this Two of Swords card, like, oh, I'm just getting overwhelmed and I just don't want to look at anything. You know, and then where's the card with your nervous system? I think that was this one. Yeah, like what do? Do you go and like fire up the coffee pot, have a pot of coffee, watch the news, watch some really stressing, depressing stuff on social media? Or do you take a step back and just completely get away from all of that? Do you do some sort of breathing practice? Do you do something to calm your nervous system? Maybe fire up the coffee, or not the coffee pot, the teapot, and have some herbal tea, something uncaffeinated. Spend time with your, I don't know if you have a pet or if you're allowed to have a pet, but if you are, maybe have a companion animal. I can't really tell from this card, but her hands kind of look like she has her hands up. So she could be doing a breathing practice. She could be doing a meditation. She might even be reading. She might be praying. She might just be counting her breaths. But like, I'm really drawn to the owl out here. They say when you listen to the sounds of the birds, that it can actually calm your nervous system because birds only sing songs when it's safe to do so. So I feel like this card is an invitation to go outside, listen to the birds, set time aside in every day for you to go outside and be in nature. I'm really drawn to how this is happening at night. And if that's the only time you got, well, then do it at night. You know, if it's safe to do so, find a spot where you can somehow connect to nature. This card says create sacred space. And again, we have a person meditating. They're in one of those little pyramid things. Well, they're not so little if the person's sitting in it. I would love to do that with those copper, what are they? Copper pipes and crystals. I've never done that, but I would like to. And then there's like all of this energy swirling. To me, this reminds me of sound bowls. I don't know if you're able to go to a sound bath, but it says create sacred space like you would have in an environment for a sound healing. And then it has this phoenix rising from the fire. It says rebirth. And I feel like, again, this is tapping into your personal spiritual practice. I love how this hair looks fiery, kind of like the rebirth card. And then over here, her hair looked fiery too. So pile one, I think that's what you need to do. I think you need to get yourself out of this fight or flight mode. Or if you have the freeze response, which might even be in the case here because we have this Two of Swords, where you might not want to look at anything and you're just like, oh my gosh, I'm just going to shut down and wait for it to be over. But I do feel like you need to come into your rest and restore mode. You need to get your body, your nervous system into that parasympathetic mode. I feel like you need to forgive. You need to cultivate some sort of a gratitude practice. I definitely recommend yoga, meditation, something of that nature. And speaking to somebody whom you trust, somebody where it would be confidential. Yeah, and then I do see a rebirth rising from the ashes. And I love how it's fire. Like here, you know, with this lion, Leo energy is fire energy. And I feel like once you get that confidence, you know, once you rise from these ashes, you're going to embody some of this confidence that this lion lacks. And then once you have that confidence, you're going to be able to write this card. And you're going to confidently be able to put yourself out there. You're not going to worry about what other people think about you. You're going to know, yes, you know what? I have a talent. I can be successful. And success can take on so many different forms. It doesn't necessarily have to be financial, but that may very well come along with the package. I'm really drawn to these mushrooms, you know, allow yourself to dream. Dream big, dream bold, dream colorful, dream the unimaginable. So pile one, this does conclude your reading. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for hanging out with me, and I will see you soon. Bye for now, gems. Hello, pile two. If you have selected pile two or this amethyst crystal here, this reading is for you. Okay, this first card represents you. Here we have the Ace of Wands in the reverse. This card says career, beginnings, and travel. But this card is in the reverse, and I see this snake, instead of rising, like Kundalini rising, I see the snake retracting. It's going within. I feel this card is representing feelings of being uninspired, perhaps some fear, maybe some hesitation in the department of career, travel, or wanting to start like some sort of creative project, something that you are very passionate about, but just holding back. There might be some frustration, like not seeing, not just not seeing a way forward. This next card is going to be the Healer Witch. She's going to show you what you are working on, what needs to be healed, and what is in the process of being healed. Let her show you what you can bring your love and attention to heal more consciously, and where you can feel supported in your precious life. Here we have the Knight of Swords. Instinctively, I am so drawn to the stripes on this tiger. And I feel like this card is asking you, what are your stripes? Do you wear them like a badge of honor, or is it something that brings you deep-rooted shame for whatever reason? This card says highs, lows, conflict, tension, and it just repeats it over and over all the way around the arch. Normally the Knight of Swords does not have very much hesitation. The Knight of Swords lunges forward like a tiger. It strikes. It's very confident. A knight is always in training. It's always learning. It's always practicing its skills. And when you see a knight, what do you think of? I think of a knight in like some fancy schmancy armor, you know, and no knight looks the same. They all have their own distinct, I guess like a brand, you know, like you have like your white knight, you have your black knight, you have your knights with like intricate designs on their armor. You have some that are plain. They have different types of chainmail. They all have like different colors, and they have different banners, and like those are all of their individual stripes, you know. And what are your stripes? Where do you come from? Who are you? What have you experienced? You know, is your armor a little beat up? Does your armor have battle scars? And that's okay, you know. That's what makes you uniquely you. I'm so drawn to the part where it says conflict and highs and lows. I feel like the road that you've traveled has not been easy, but it hasn't all been low. You have had some moments, some high points in your life. And I feel like you also need to look back on those high points and do some reflection. And just think about how badass you truly are to have overcome whatever it is that you have gone through. And wear your stripes like a badge of honor. Moving on to the seer witch. She sees the future and how your destiny is being written. She often provides advice on making the best of circumstances revealed by the card. She will offer a light on the dark road ahead and show you what could come, so you can be prepared and able to navigate your path safely. Here we have the Page of Pentacles. And just like, was it in the same card? I don't know, but in pile 1, there was a card, and I was really drawn to these, what reminded me of dragon scales. And again, I'm drawn immediately. I'm totally sucked into these dragon scales. And I just want to say, like, this is not something that I'm normally immediately drawn to in this card. But in this reading, I am. So this is the seer witch. She sees the future and how your destiny is being written. So I just want to point out that this is not set in stone due to free will, okay? But I really love how it looks like she's shaking this pentacle like that 8-ball thing, you know, like you ask it the question and its answers are, what were they? I think they were like, yes, no, maybe, something like that. But like you would ask it a question and you would shake it and it would be like, yes, no, maybe, or I think there was a couple more options. But that's what this is really reminding me of. This card says talent, skill, money. Talent, skill, money, talent, skill. I feel like you have a talent, you have a skill. And with your card being in the upright, I feel like if you continue learning, if you continue honing your skill, because this is a page, it's not really a knight, you know, and so I feel like there's a lot to be learned. The page is in service to a knight. So if you continue to learn, and this would be like real practical skills, things that can be applied in the real world, that there is some financial gain to be had in the future. And again, this is not set in stone because it's going to be dependent on you putting in the work, on you honing your skills, toughening your skin. I'm really drawn to those dragon scales. And then what's growing out of the dragon scales? Flowers. Beauty, prosperity. They're delicate, but they're thriving. Yeah. I love that the eyes are open. And I feel like she's seeing things clearly. She's not seeing things only from one side. She's seeing things from all directions. And why is she able to see things from all directions and not just one-sided anymore? Well, I feel like she's come to embrace her stripes. She's not only looking at it from a perspective of what other people have told her or from what she has experienced. She's looking at it from multiple angles, and that's how she's able to grow. Moving on to the Witch of Endings. This witch ushers what is over to the other side. Therefore, she will reveal what you can let go of, leave behind, or release. She is here to show you the endings which will bring forth new beginnings. Here we have the Eight of Cups. Interesting. This is a card of change. It says shift, change. And I love how it's an octopus and it's going down deep into the emotions. And I feel like after some intense shadow work, once you really swim in the depths of your emotions, then you felt it. You felt your feelings and you're able to move forward. And then you can leave that behind because you don't need to sit there anymore. I feel like stuff is going to keep coming up and keep surfacing for you until you allow yourself to feel it. You can't keep pushing it aside. You can't hide. You can't shut down. You can't avoid going places. You can't avoid not starting anything because of what you've experienced in the past. That's not a viable option, okay? Then we have the Witch of Beginnings. This witch brings through the little ones, the new ones, the tender ideas and beings. She will show you what is beginning, what is being birthed through you into the world, and how you can help ease and welcome the delivery. Here we have the Queen of Wands. Again, I feel like this is tapping in to your shadows, embracing who you are, owning your stripes. The Queen of Wands is a confident, badass woman who walks into a room and she knows, you know what, I'm beautiful, I'm funny, people like me, I have every right to be here, people want to be around me, I make people feel good, I make people laugh. This card says creativity, leader, focus. So what do you love about yourself? What are you proud of? What makes you hold your head up high? Hold on to that. I challenge you to start a morning practice. When you wake up in the morning, before grabbing your cell phone, before grabbing your tablet or turning on your computer, checking your emails, your social media, whatever, go to the bathroom, use the bathroom, look in the mirror and tell yourself 10 things that you like or love about yourself. Starting with the little things, we start with you. I challenge you to make eye contact with people. I challenge you to compliment strangers, perhaps even someone that you wouldn't normally talk to. And don't make it fake, don't make it bullshit, but actually give a compliment if you like someone's shoes, or you like someone's bag, or you like someone's outfit, their hair. There's something that you can compliment a person on, and it doesn't even matter. Their response is not part of the exercise. It doesn't matter what their response is. They can be an absolute twit, but that doesn't affect you and your exercise. Your exercise is to step out of your comfort zone, look them in the eyes, and give somebody an honest compliment, somebody that you probably would not normally speak to. Get in the habit of that. Try to do it once a day. This next card is the Green Witch. What can be grown at this time? What can you work on, garden, and give energy so that it blooms and grows? What will be fruitful to you? The Green Witch will show you. Here we have the King of Swords. Oh, this card says, what? Ambition, power, influence. The King of Swords is a master strategizer. And with his hair like this, like this goatee and this long, his long ponytail, it reminds me of like a Kung Fu master. He's not really like in the clothes of a Kung Fu master, but that's what I get out of when I look at this card. The hair. Because clothes, I feel like clothes can be changed, like you can all like putting on a costume, but your hair, most people won't change their hair. Their hair is like who they are, so yeah. And how do you become a Kung Fu master? It takes years of dedication. It takes years of practice, skill. It takes years of failing. That's how you learn, right? That's how you know, like, okay, like I really learned my lesson. I'm not going to keep making the same mistake because it hurts. It's painful. Pain is a great motivator for you not to do it again. And I feel like you've learned through experience, through trial and error, you know, where we started off over here with this first witch. What was that? That was the healer witch, you know, and we started off as a knight and as the Knight of Swords, but now moving into the King of Swords. That's the potential. That's what can be grown. This king's been through a lot and he doesn't make decisions from his heart. He thinks things out, he plans things, and he's a great strategizer. He's a great communicator. He's also a great listener. I'm really drawn to all of this like swirling. It kind of looks like water, but like I guess that's supposed to be clouds, you know? And it's like all of these thoughts are happening, and perhaps there's voices coming in from all sides, and everybody's saying one thing, everybody has an idea, everybody has an opinion. And he's able to listen to all sides, think about it rationally without letting his emotions take over. And he's able to make intelligent decisions. Decisions that are going to be not only good for him, but also for those he loves, for those who depend on him. They're going to be good for his kingdom. Card 6, the Wild Witch. This witch reveals traps, hindrances, and burdens you need not carry. She will show you how to break chains and unlock shackles, where to be your wildish self a little more, how to let go of expectations and cords between you and people and their conditions, so you may live more spontaneously in a more primal, instinctual way. 10 of Wands in the reverse. What burden are you carrying? What load? Do you know you need to put it down, but you're like, oh, I just can't let go. Burden demands overload. She literally looks like she's being burned at the stake. You hold on to these things for too long, it will consume you. You have to let go. What can you let go of? Perhaps there's like some sort of expectation on you for whatever reason. Other people have made you feel like you can't let go of this. You have to carry this. It's yours. It's your burden. You have to carry it. You're responsible for these people. But how much of it is true? I'm really drawn to it where it says break chains and unlock shackles. And here she's literally tied. That's not normally something that comes up in the 10 of Wands. Normally it's just like a guy hunched over in a really awkward position. He's making his way. He's trudging along. But this is like consuming you, you know? She knows these are not her burdens. It's not hers to carry. Why are you carrying it? Put it down. I mean, perhaps that's even like ancestral stuff, you know? Maybe it's generational trauma. It's not yours. Perhaps it's stuff like that you carry. You know, are you the black sheep of the family? Why are you still there? Let it go. What is this? Are you saying yes to everything? Like you're just, you know, you can't say no, or like, I don't really know why this card is coming up for you, but I have a feeling that you do. What is your burden? What are you resisting at like the very depth of your being? Your spirit is just crying out, no, like this, I can't do this anymore. I don't want to do this. This is just like goes against everything that I feel, everything that I know to be true. Let go of it. Let go of other people's expectations. Cut those cords. Maybe, you know, you guys used to be in circles that intermingled, you know, and now it's like, you know what, it just doesn't fit anymore. Your feet have outgrown those shoes. Moving on to the Love Witch. Here we have a witch who will shed insight on your lovers, friends, relatives, all those intricate, beautiful, loving relationships in all their forms. She can show you how to heal your heart from times of sorrow and where to open your heart 2 times of joy. Here we have the 6 of Cups. It says harmony, childhood, reconciliation. And then it repeats itself, harmony, childhood, reconciliation. Normally this is a card of memories for me. And then where it says childhood, and it's talking about friends, relatives, I'm wondering if you have siblings or perhaps childhood friends. I'm wondering if you need to reconnect with somebody, or perhaps if you need to forgive somebody who's offering like this cup, you know, this energetic cup of friendship, of a reconciliation. But I do feel like there is forgiveness involved in this card. Now, forgiveness, I just want to point out, this is a collective reading, and forgiveness may mean different things to different people. For some of you, yeah, it very well may be bringing somebody back into your life. This person could have been gone as of recent or for many years. And for others, forgiveness might just mean no longer harboring anger, resentment, hatred in your heart. Letting go of these feelings of betrayal or whatever is arising for you. And it's more for you than for them. It doesn't mean that you necessarily have to invite them back into your life. You don't need to invite them over for tea, for holidays, or for birthdays. You don't need to see each other for special events, you know, but it's just not holding on to negativity. It's not doing you any good. And when you allow your heart to heal, you allow more space, more room for your own love, for your own joy, for your own happiness, your own peace. You soften your heart, and it's capable of more love for new people in your life. The Star Witch. What is the highest perspective and destiny of your soul? The Star Witch knows, for she has a galactic outlook and can see the many incarnations you have already experienced and the many more to come. This card's guidance will show you your life events from a cosmically conscious point of view. Wheel of Fortune. Again, nothing is set in stone, but this card says karma, destiny. Karma, destiny, karma. And here we have the 4 elements, and this snake represents Kundalini. And with this card being in the upright, if you do believe in past lives, then this card is saying that your highest perspective and the destiny of your soul is to soften your karma. The Wheel of Fortune being in the upright, things do look good. The outlook does look good. Of course, the Wheel of Fortune never stays in the upright forever. It never stays in the reverse forever. It spins around, you know, and but for the most part, things do look good. But I'm really drawn to the snake and the coil, you know, and I feel like you do have to balance your energies, knowing when to embrace that masculine yang energy and when to embrace that feminine yin energy. When to tap into each of the 4 elements. There's a time and place for everything. Again, embodying that King of Swords energy. Not acting out of emotion. Really thinking about your actions before just rushing in. Also, not being afraid to hope, not being afraid to dream, not being afraid to be inspired. The Coven Witch, through this card, will show you how you relate to groups of people. Unlike the Love Witch, this card is about how you interact with people like coworkers and people you may spend time with but not have that super close connection with as yet. She may indicate how a group views you or how you view that group. The Coven Witch also reveals how you are influenced by group dynamics and how to keep your power. Here we have the Ace of Swords. I feel like you are influenced by other people's actions, by other people's success, by your perception of people. And I'm really drawn to how, I felt like this was like embodying and owning your stripes. And this one over here is speckled. I don't know if that's like a cheetah or leopard or whatever, but it's spotted. And they're looking in opposite directions. And I feel like this card is saying that you make your decision about your, like, how you perceive other people in a group setting prematurely. You don't really look at it with the patience, with the experience of the King of Swords just yet. But I feel like that's something that you will learn in time. Here we have Couscous. It says gratitude shifts awareness, changing the world you see before you. So perhaps instead of just making a quick assumption about other people, another person, people in a group, really just taking time and, doing that practice where you look yourself in the mirror, in the morning. Getting in the habit of talking to strangers, holding their gaze, keeping eye contact, confidently complimenting somebody. And at first it might be really awkward, you might not feel like you fit in. You might feel like, oh my gosh, they have spots and I have stripes, and what are they going to think about me? Oh, they think this about me. Letting that go. Offer gratitude for something. Thank you to the universe, or whatever it is that you believe in. Thank you to the universe that you've put me in this position where I get to experience blah, blah, blah. Thank you for whatever. Find something. And then just see how that practice of shifting your perspective changes your thought process. Here we have Inner Wisdom. It says Stardust Soul and Spells of Rose and Cacao. I love this because they say that we are actually made of the same stuff that the stars are made of. We're all stardust. Even if you have stripes and they have spots, you know what I mean? We're all still made of the same stuff. Everybody looks out. I don't know a single person. I've never met a person who is like, oh yeah, I don't care about the stars, or I never look at the stars because I don't think they're awesome or amazing or cool. That's boring. Everybody. That crosses all cultures, all borders. Everybody looks at the stars. Everybody wonders and gazes at them. And that's what we're made of, I love how she's making this brew. And there's stars here. And there's like this swirling, or like little galaxies on her robe. Maybe they're flowers. I don't know. But it's like, this is going into, like, she's putting that into the brew. And what is she brewing? Rose and cacao. And she's here with her cat, her companion animal. She's here with her shadow. Rose is good for the heart chakra. It's good for opening up the heart, for allowing compassion and grace to enter your heart, so you're not so judgmental, so you're not so fearful of others. And cacao is sacred plant medicine too. I say it's good for your love life. Look at Henry VIII. She's making a brew of love. She's making a brew to mend broken hearts, to open closed hearts, frozen hearts, to warm them. She's making a brew for self-love, because when she loves herself, only then will she be able to love others. Only then will she be able to receive love from others. And here I love it. Here we have enter, and there's these gates that are finally opened. And here I'm really drawn to this pink, glowing pink, and it reminds me of the colors of rose. I feel like when you do this, you're going to allow this. I feel like that's the heart chakra. You know, it's opening. Love is allowed to enter. It's going to flow both ways. You're going to be allowed to love, and you're going to allow love to enter your life. And then it says master the dance. And here we have Shiva doing the cosmic dance. And I was so drawn to like how we are all made of star stuff. And we have like the stars here, you know. Sometimes people think, oh, you know, Shiva's evil, Shiva's scary because Shiva's the destroyer. But Shiva reminds me of Om. And in yoga, you know, we chant Om. And we chant Om because it's a sacred sound, and Om doesn't belong to anybody. Everybody can chant Om. Om is composed of 4 sounds. In Sanskrit, the A and the U sound combine to make the sound O. So that's why we say Om. But it's A, U, M. And then the 4th sound is silence. So you can think of it like a walkie-talkie. When you press the button, only that person who's holding down the button can speak. So like when you're chanting it, you're the one pressing down the button and you're speaking whatever to the universe. And only when you're sitting in the silence can the universe then answer back to you. So what is the call and the response? The A speaks to the creative force of the universe. The U speaks to the preservation force of the universe. And the M speaks to the destructive sound of the universe. And this sound, the destructive force of the universe, is absolutely necessary. It's like if you're going to put in a new kitchen or a new bathroom, you have to gut the old one first. You can't just put it in when the other one is still there. Sometimes you've got to do some heavy duty renovation work. If you're planting a garden, you can't just go in and plant your seeds. You have to, you know, pull up the weeds. You've got to turn the soil. You've probably got to do some fertilization or whatever, you know, but like you can't just go in and plant your seeds, because if you haven't destroyed what doesn't belong, nothing will grow. So what doesn't belong in your garden? I feel like that's really speaking to this 10 of Wands card here. And over here with this 8 of Cups. I'm really drawn to this rose, you know, and how this is tying in over here. Shifting awareness, changing the world you see before you. And how do you do that? By starting new practices. Stepping out of your comfort zone. Being a leader, not waiting for somebody else to boop you on the head. Like, boop, now you're confident. Boop, now you have the ability to dream. Boop, now you have the ability to love others that you wouldn't normally. Now you have now you have the ability to receive love from others, where you might think like, oh, this person has ulterior motives. You know, maybe they do. But when you embody that energy of the King of Swords, you don't just jump to conclusions. They do have ulterior motives. The King of Swords is going to see that a mile away. He's a master chess player. But he just doesn't get emotional, like start a war for no reason, let his kingdom get overrun. He really thinks about things. So pile 2, this does conclude your reading. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for hanging out with me, and I will see you soon. Bye for now, gems. Hello, pile 3. If you have selected pile 3 or this amethyst crystal here. This reading is for you. Okay, so this first card represents you. Here we have the Two of Wands in the reverse. Keywords for this card are plans, partnership, and influence. But this card is in the reverse, and I'm feeling like you really don't care to influence anybody else. I really feel like you don't have plans to go anywhere or influence people. I feel like you are pretty content where you are right now. We are going to meet the Healer Witch. She shows you what you are working on, what needs to be healed, and what is in the process of being healed. Let her show you what you can bring your love and attention to. Heal more consciously, and where you can feel more supported in your precious life. Here we have the Six of Swords in the reverse. So this is actually making a lot of sense coming up after this card here, with you just not really wanting to go anywhere, being pretty comfortable who you are, not really caring to influence anybody. I feel like you may have left, you might have moved a lot when you were younger. This card says explore, discovery, moving on. And I see this, this card usually as a card of having moved from some pretty rocky water, some choppy water, into a place of calmer waters, but still having some baggage with you. So maybe you don't, I'm wondering if you're being presented with an option to move, or if people are pressuring you to move, or you're being, not successfully, but people are trying to influence you to make a move of some sort that can be related to like work. That could be, I'm kind of thinking it could be related to your home. But because of your past, because of probably like a move that didn't go well, or having to move so much in the past, you just don't want to. Comfortable right where you are. But this card is saying to maybe go back and revisit a period in your life where you did feel like you had to move, and it was more than likely not of your choosing. Moving on to the Seer Witch. She sees the future and how your destiny is being written. She often provides advice on making the best of the circumstances revealed by the card. She will offer a light on the dark road ahead and show you what could come so you can be prepared and able to navigate your path safely. One thing I want to point out is this is never set in stone due to the fact that we all have free will. Four of Pentacles. Okay, well maybe that's why you don't want to move. I see the path that you're on is actually quite comfortable. This card says security, stability, saving, foundations, money. I feel like you're working on your foundation. You're working on your root chakra. You're working on really setting roots. So far, this does look like a pretty good reading, but I do see that this needs to go back and be revisited. There is something that's not fully processed here surrounding some sort of like moving, being uprooted, or... This is the Witch of Endings. This witch ushers what is over to the other side. Therefore, she will reveal what you can let go of, leave behind, or release. She is here to show you the endings, which will bring forth new beginnings. Death. This is literally a card of endings. It says transformation, new beginnings, change, endings. And it just says the same thing over and over all the way around the card. Reminds me of those sugar skulls, like from the Day of the Dead. I'm really drawn to how it's not such a scary death card. To me, it seems more like a celebration of what was, and perhaps maybe this card is giving a nod to over here, like celebrating what was, giving thanks and gratitude to whatever it was that you didn't want to leave, giving thanks and gratitude for the time that you did have it in your life, perhaps properly grieving it, whatever it was, whatever you had to leave behind. And just knowing that that has led you to this new beginning. So what is your death? What is your ending that you had to say goodbye to? I feel like this would be something that you're not really resisting so hard. I don't know if these two cards are connected. I feel like they very well could be, but they don't have to be. This could be an actual literal passing of a person, but more than likely it's usually just something that has come to an end. A chapter in your life has closed and now there's a new chapter that awaits you. But I do feel like, because it reminds me of a sugar skull, I feel like there is like an honoring celebration, an honoring ceremony, an honoring like a ritual that needs to take place before you can start the new beginning. This is the Witch of Beginnings. This witch brings through the little ones, the new ones, the tender ideas and beings. She will show you what is beginning, what is being birthed through you into the world, and how you can help ease and welcome the delivery. Here we have the Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles is the slowest moving knight in the tarot. And with your card being in the reverse, I kind of feel like that new beginning cannot happen until this ending is honored. This card says prosperity, benefits, investment. I feel like your new beginning does look promising. But what ritual needs to take place? What do you need to honor before you can fully move in? Leave that behind. Card 5 is the Green Witch. What can be grown at this time? What can you work on, garden, and give energy so that it blooms and grows? What will be fruitful to you? The Green Witch will show you. 2 of Pentacles. I see this card as a card of balance. Bringing balance into your life. Not tapping in too much into one thing over another. Again, I feel like this is real world stuff. I feel like this is tapping into this card here. That was your future card. The Seer Witch. How your destiny is being written. So how can you bring more balance, more harmony into your life right now at this time? I feel like this applies to the physical, real world. Could it be putting some money away for the future? Could it be getting more rest at night? Could it be eating a little bit better? Could it be taking part in some physical activity, working on your health, working on your fitness? I don't know, but I do feel like it pertains to the real world. The easiest place to look would be the obvious. What feels out of balance for you? And work on that. The next card is the Wild Witch. This witch will reveal traps, hindrances, and burdens you need not carry. She will show you how to break chains and unlock shackles, where to be your wildish self a little more, and how to let go of expectations and cords between you and people and their conditions, so you may live more spontaneously in a more primal, instinctual way. Temperance. That is it always surprises me when temperance comes up as what you need to let go of. Are you being too restrained? Are you being too reserved? This card says guidance, healing, moderation, and balance. I'm really drawn to, okay, like balance can be grown, but this is saying like let go of balance. I don't think it's that. I think it's letting go of moderation. I'm wondering if you are too reserved, if you're too cautious. Are you a little too stuck in your ways? How do you keep yourself in chains and shackles? What part of your wild side wants to come out, but you're like, oh no, I can't do that. Oh, I could never. Up next, we have the Love Witch. Here we have a witch who will shed insight on your lovers, friends, relatives, all those intricate, beautiful, loving relationships in all their forms. She can show you how to heal your heart from times of sorrow and where to open your heart to times of joy. Here we have the Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles has arrived. She didn't just show up. She has arrived. She worked hard to get to where she is. This card says comfort, accomplishment, prosperity, and stability. Based on your reading, I'm going to assume that this is you, more than likely, that you are in a place of comfort, that you are relatively comfortable and you can afford to bestow some form of generosity. It doesn't necessarily have to be money or gifts, but it could be, it could also be a gift of time. It could be a gift of welcoming people into your home. But I feel like honoring those that you love, honoring those who you hold dear is healing to you. I'm really drawn to this bird. I feel like it brings you peace to share what you have, to love others, perhaps to give comfort, because maybe like in the past you weren't so comfortable. The Star Witch. What is the highest perspective and destiny of your soul? The Star Witch knows, for she has a galactic outlook and can see the many incarnations you have already experienced and the many more to come. This card's guidance will show you your life events from a cosmically conscious point of view. Here we have the Ten of Cups. This to me is a family card. It says prosperity, joy, family, contentment, prosperity, joy, family, contentment. My first initial reaction was that you had to move when you were younger or in the past, like just uprooted and you didn't like it. Or that you had to move too many times. You're so sick and tired of moving. You don't want to move again. I started getting other intuitive hits. You know, this is a collective reading, but those were like my strongest two hits. And now we have this card, which really brings up family vibes for me. And family can mean so many different things to so many different people. So what I feel like this card is asking you, what does family mean to you? What have you learned from your family? What hopes, what dreams do you have for your family? The people you consider to be your family now. How would you like that family to grow? And that can be blood family. That can even be like close people in your inner circle who you consider to be family. As a collective reading, this can be so many different things to different people. But the highest perspective and destiny for your soul in this carnation is a feeling of family, a feeling of belonging, a feeling of being whole, perfect, and complete, and sharing that with others. Up next, we have the Coven Witch. She, through this card, will show you how you relate to groups of people. Unlike the Love Witch, this card is about how you interact with people like coworkers and people you may spend time with, but not have that super close connection with as yet. She may indicate how a group views you or how you view that group. The Coven Witch also reveals how you are influenced by group dynamics and how to keep your power. Here we have the Eight of Pentacles in the reverse. The keywords for this card are education, achievement, hard work, and results. So why is your card coming up in the reverse? Based on your cards, I would honestly be surprised if you were not a hard worker. Okay, it could be. Perhaps you've achieved what you've achieved by cutting some corners, but more than likely, I feel like this card would be that you look at other people when you see people, coworkers, people you'd spend time with, but maybe not have that super close connection with as yet. You might view them as not having worked hard enough. Maybe they could have what you have if they just worked a little bit harder. If they spent more time tending to the hive instead of other useless bullshit. I feel like you are very concerned. Again, like I feel like family was so important, having a strong foundation, being rooted, not moving around. And I feel like how to keep your power. Are you the queen bee? Are you a boss? Are you a business owner? Are you an entrepreneur? Are you somebody who people look up to? Do you give people orders? People come to you for advice? I don't know. Very possible that you could be like a queen bee type energy. Here we have Benedicta. Every day is a new opportunity to be a more daring version of yourself. Here we have you not wanting to go anywhere, not really seeking to influence anybody. But over here, I felt like there was some restraint. There was some way that you were holding yourself back. There was like a moderation. So who is Benedicta encouraging you to be, to embody? Who do you watch on TV or read about in a story or a myth or a fairy tale and be like, oh my gosh, I love that about that person so much. I wish I could embody a little bit of that. Pay attention to why that person's story is so important to you. Here we have Enchant the Everyday Autumn Magic and a Samhain Sending. I'm wondering, do you find magic in the everyday, or do you hide your magic? Do you kind of tone it down a little bit? Do you look at the world around you and you see beauty everywhere? Do you enchant little activities of your day? Can you do little mini rituals, you know? How do you cook your food? Do you do it with intention? How do you choose your beverages? Do you drink your teas for any specific reason? Or is it simply because that's the beverage you enjoy drinking? Do you see magic in birds flying by in a sunset? Do you turn ordinary tasks into magical rituals? Is your home your place of work, your car, your desk, your office, whatever? Is it a sacred place that inspires you? Remember that you are sacred. Remember that every day is a gift. Again, I feel like this is a card of magic. A card of being inspired, a card of experimenting, of exploring. I'm really drawn to her lantern and how she's looking out at the world, and she's sitting here with her like ravens or crows or whatever. And she's looking at the town. Like, why is she looking at the town? What is she wondering? I feel like she's watching people. She's watching people go by. She's listening to people talk. She's people watching. Do you people watch? I feel like it's a card of like stories, a card of listening to people. The stars, the sky, it reminds me of a veil. It reminds me of the veil of the high priestess. And I feel like she's peering into that. She's tapping into her intuition. Like, how do these people's stories relate to her? Did you celebrate Halloween as a child? And if you did, if you do, what did you choose to dress up as? What used to make you smile and why? How did those stories, those characters, inspire you? What feelings did they make you feel? This card says give birth and voyage. I feel like you're brewing, like you have all of this energy brewing within you, just building and building and building, waiting to be birthed, waiting to be brought into reality, into the real world. But I feel like there is a voyage that needs to happen. Kind of like here, like she's out looking, you know, but here in the card of you, it's a very similar vibe. Two of Wands. And instead of looking out and wondering, exploring, you're like, no, I don't want to go. I want to stay here. I don't want to go again. I don't want to be uncomfortable. I don't want to be scared. I don't want to be out of my element, out of my comfort zone. But here in the So and Sending, she is contemplating, like looking out, you know, like wondering about the world around her. And I feel like when you embark, it doesn't have to be super far, okay? But I feel like there is a journey, a voyage that you have to go on for whatever reason. And it could be different reasons for different people, but maybe you're supposed to go and experience something. Maybe you're supposed to go and read something. Maybe you're supposed to go and someone's supposed to say something to you. I don't know, but whatever it is, it's going to be that spark. It's just going to be that extra little spark that lights all of this creative potential. And you're going to bring that into the real world. I'm going to go back to my spread. Let me see, which card was it for the Seer Witch? The future and, oh, that's my dog's ears. the future and how your destiny is being written. Stability, foundation, saving, security. I feel like you do have to step out of your comfort zone in order to fully realize this. Normally the Four of Pentacles card, it's got this little dude and he's sitting outside away from the city, you know, and he's like clutching his pentacle, his coins to his chest. But here it's like, it's very open. There's no fear in this card. And then I'm really drawn to this one, how, you know, the balance card. This person's in that same posture, but they have more stability. What was that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That was the Green Witch. What can be grown at this time? Embodying more balance. And I feel like that is a stepping stone to move into this Four of Pentacles card. I don't know if you have a family. Is a family vacation in order? Do you need to go on this voyage, on this trip in order to experience this sense of family? I don't know. Very interesting indeed. But I feel like, what is your comfort zone? What is the thing that you're resisting? Where are you resisting going? And what is the more daring version of yourself? What is it that you hold back? But maybe you tapped into that, or you would like to tap into that on Halloween, or everybody's getting dressed up in their costumes and you're like, oh, if I was going to dress up, I wish I could go as that, or I would go as that. In what way can you bring some of that excitement, some of that enchantment into your everyday life? So pile 3, this does conclude your reading. I hope it made sense. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for hanging out with me, and I will see you soon. Bye for now, gems.